And away we go. It is the nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com, www.galacticfriedchicken.com for everything Galactic. They will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or head down to Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Get yourself some of the Galactic goodness. It is out of this world. All right, a little bit of a surprise tonight. I was going to take Saturday off. Nobody knows your obscure Sonics jersey, Berg.
I know, but here, leave it on there until see if someone can guess it.
Okay. I was going to take the night off. Kelsey's gone at a friend's house. I was just hanging out watching some Reds, little NBA playoffs. And Berg hits me up and says, I want to do a show. I said, how about tomorrow? He said, no, tonight. So here we are. Look, I'm a slave. If nothing else, I'm a slave to the content. And Berg said, let's do some content. So here we are. We're going to do some content. Hi, Berg. How you doing?
Terrific. How are you doing, sir?
Terrific. I'm good. Reds won. So that makes it for a nice little Saturday night. I had some Cajun pasta with chicken tonight. That was delicious. And now I'm having a couple Cincy Lights. And I guess I'm now doing a podcast or a show. So that's kind of where I'm at.
All right, then.
All right. You wanna obviously talk about all the interesting things that have happened since the end of the basketball season. Shall we just start with the new additions?
Sure.
As a creamer and a jammer, as you said. As Conor Hickman transfers in from Bradley and Arrington Page transfers in from USC. So we'll start with Hickman. I know you have watched every Conor Hickman clip there is on the internet, probably by this point. Give me your rundown of Conor Hickman.
Okay. Well, the first thing I noticed when I started watching some of his stuff was that, well, clearly he can cream. We don't even need to get into how much he can cream or how well he can cream, but the way that he can off the dribble be able to find ways to get a stop and go and then pull up and hit him from three as well. Like CJ Frederick didn't seem like he had that part of it. If he's got to catch and shoot, he can shoot the same percentage as this guy. But this dude seems like he can shake a few and, just feel like if he's got a guy in space with a dude on him, he can create his space and get a nice smooth shot off. And that was what was very appealing because CJ didn't feel like he could do that.
Yeah, I think the other big thing too is, he shot 52% from two.
Right.
So not only is he able to shoot off the bounce, but he can attack a closeout and he can get to the lane and get a shot off and score in some other ways. And look, when you're talking about how do you get a guy at any level to double-digit points, 11, 12, 13 points, whatever it ends up that Conor Hickman ends up scoring in the Big 12, it's very difficult to do that one-dimensionally.
For sure.
And you've got to be able to have a little bit of variety in your game to consistently score at that level.
Right. And at the very least, he's a floor spacer extraordinaire.
Yeah.
And as many floor spacers as you can add into the mix into your five, you take them. And the fact that he can do other stuff. And then defensively, just stay in front, man. Stay in front and don't foul. And then when the shot goes up, find somebody, put a body on him. That's all I need. I don't need you trying to do all kinds of crazy stuff, although he has good anticipation for what I saw as well. So, yeah, man.
His highlight includes a lot of, stepping into passing lanes.
Right.
Being able to read kind of what the offense is trying to do.
So he has some feel.
Yeah.
Would be the term that they use. All right. Yeah, and then was it down to IU and UC, or was there someone else? Okay.
Really,
Bloomington, yeah.
Nebraska had messed around a little bit with him, but he was either going to stay in Bloomington or he was going to come to Cincinnati. And I was pretty confident all along the Cincinnati ties were going to be enough to get him into
Yeah,
Lisbon.
plus he played in their arena, so he knows what it feels like to play there. And he knocked a few in. He was like, I could play in this building in front of this
Right,
crowd.
I like the feel
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a hell of a crowd, and I can, knock down a few. And he finished one over Aziz, right? Left-handed.
2.
Yeah, 2. Okay.
2 over Aziz left-handed.
Yeah. So all right. So I mean, if it's me, I go with Jizzle and Hickman to start the game. Put as much offense as you can on the floor the whole game, and then Day can come in for either one of them for any reason at any time, and he can just go a million miles an hour and anticipate passes and all that. That's how I would play those 3.
Yeah, and then potentially, as things stand right now, CJ Frederick kind of slots in as that second guy at the shooting guard spot, which gives you that spacing and floor distribution that you're looking for.
As of now, CJ Frederick healthy.
As far as I've heard, he's been doing right now. So they are allowed a period in the spring where they can do workouts, but it's generally just like individuals, where they get guys in the gym for like 40 minutes and you work on footwork and shooting and ball handling and skill development stuff. He's been involved in those and been fine from what I've heard.
All right, jeez. Imagine if he was healthy too on that. I mean, this could be this offense seems like it's got a lot of things possible from a lot of angles in the put the ball in the basket department.
Yeah. And then Arrington Page, obviously a name we knew really well a year ago, going through the recruiting process, committed to USC, spent his first year with the Trojans, entered the transfer portal, and finally found his way to Cincinnati. 6'11", top 50 level kid. What are your takes on Arrington Page?
Is he really 6'11" tall?
6'10", 6'11". I mean, he's up there.
I think he was listed at 6'8" on his 24/7 page coming in, or 6'9" at the
he had a growth spurt out of high school after high school. So
that's convenient for him.
I believe 6'10" is the accurate 6'10" in plus.
Yeah. Okay. So either way, 6'10", 6'11", long arms. I mean, can run the floor. Run the floor for chase down blocks and for rim run dunks. So that was something I saw that I enjoyed. Every big should want to run for dunks. Why wouldn't you want to run for dunks?
Right.
So that's great. And then offense, I mean, they only show you the shots he makes, but the touch looks fine. I mean, the stroke, it looks pure when he sticks them. So I don't know. It looks like he could probably develop a nice, if they could just figure out just good position, little jump hook. He's tall enough. He should be just taking that Gary Clark 6 to 10 foot jump hook all day on people with strength. And then just, run for dunks and cut for dunks and offensive rebound for dunks.
My favorite part about his game, I'm interested to see. After watching him, what do you think my favorite part about his game is?
That it won't be that he dunks. I know that. So we can eliminate that.
Well, it's something that's
not going to be your favorite part. I'm sure you enjoy it,
that
but
leads to it. It's something that leads to it.
His hands on catching passes around the rim. Yeah.
Especially in transition, pick and roll. Chris and I had that breakdown Thursday where Chris talked about he hung out in that dunker spot down along the baseline. And look, man, we know what it looks like when you're watching a big man that doesn't have great hands. And when you watch Page's highlights,
who comes to mind? You think of that? Shaq Moon?
I mean, 30 of them. They're like so many.
Shaq, yeah.
I mean, Trey didn't have great hands initially. Nas didn't have great hands initially. Like, those are things that those guys developed and got better at. But there hasn't been a lot of big guys.
Fouls. Hold on, those fouls they called on Nas in that Iowa game in the tournament were horse ass shit. No one's put enough. I mean that. I remember that game very thoroughly. UC got ahead early, and then Iowa came back, and then UC was dumb against their press and settled for threes. But either way, when Nasir Brooks was on the floor, UC owned them on both ends of the floor. He was offensive rebounding, he was protecting the rim and guarding the perimeter, and the refs fucked UC on that. I'm sorry, by calling 2 ticky-tack horseshit fouls on Nasir Brooks. That probably cost them that game. But what else, besides settling for a lot of threes against a pussy in the paint Iowa team? Are you not allowed to say that? I don't know.
I prefer that you didn't.
Okay. I'll do my best to make it the last time I ever say that. I got caught
up. Anyway, if you watch Page, and this has been something that's been prevalent from scouting him back in high school all the way through to now, in transition, in regular offense, he's just got really, really strong hands. And he's not a guy that you see them swipe it away from, or you see him catch and have to like think and shuffle his feet and get a travel call. Like, he's pretty good about knowing when he gets the ball, how to organize his feet, and how to get up to the rim. So if I could have like one thing that I think is my favorite quality of his, that would be it.
Yeah, well, look, people have been asking me, well, he only averaged 3 points a game. Who is this guy? Well, this guy was top 57. He was number 57 in his class.
Yeah. He's
now almost 7 feet tall. He has great hands. He's athletic and bouncy. He's light on his feet.
He's got a decent touch.
He's gonna be motivated to work hard and learn the game because how last season went. He has to have a good season this year. Like, this is a huge get. This is a huge get. I know you don't love him like for some parts of his shit, but
yeah, I mean, and some of that is, look, I watched him a ton. So it's funny when you watch guys a little, you like them a lot more than the guys you watch a ton. Right. Because the guys you watch a ton, you start to pick apart, and like you start to like hone in on, okay, I want him to be better on this, I want him to do better on that, and you keep watching him, waiting for him to get like where you want to be. The other thing is, guess what? Right now in college basketball, freshmen just don't play, and if they play, they don't play much.
Right.
Unless you are
a lot of transfers that are like old players, yeah.
Like, unless you are in a perfect situation where you're a really good player and you came into a team that has an opening at your spot. I don't know. I just, especially big guys, I don't expect much of them early.
Right.
So taking a guy that didn't do a lot doesn't.
Well, when you say you don't expect much, you just mean in terms of scoring points. That you can expect rebounding, defense.
Well, yeah, but I mean they're not going to be on the floor a lot, is what I'm saying.
Right. But here,
I'm not even talking points. You know, I don't like point whatever. Yeah, I'm talking about playing, being on the floor. Right now, freshmen just aren't doing it. Yeah, they're not getting playing time.
So as a sophomore, though, with just he and Aziz as at this point the fives on the team, or even though this guy can play the four, it looks like. So right now, I mean, he should get, like you said, probably 15 to 17 minutes at the five.
Somewhere in there, I think would be the right. Like, Aziz is going to play 20 to 25.
This guy should get a ton of hammers with this team. Like the penetration that like these dudes can get, Jizzle and Skillings, these guys, and if he can just find the right slot, and they'll be able to drop it off to him for just cockbacks all day.
Yeah. I have some reservations, and I want to see consistently, like I want to see some more just in general, some more consistent play from him.
Okay.
And
he's young. He's only 19 years old, right?
He just turned 19 like a month ago.
So this guy went to USC because Collier went there and they were boys, right?
Yes and no. There was more to it than that, but I mean, he was smart. He was playing with the best passing point guard in basketball at that level. So yeah, like,
but with the point,
hitch your wagon to him.
If Collier would have chose UC, then this guy would have come here.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. So then Collier is gone this year, and so now he can come play here. So he probably wanted to play here all along, and the only reason he went to USC is because Collier decided to go there.
I mean, he committed first. He committed a couple months before Collier, but
Oh, that's true. He did. Okay. Well, then that just dispels everything I just hypothesized right there.
I mean, it's not totally wrong. Like, I think he had a pretty good idea Collier was going to go there, and he wanted to make sure he had his spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he took a calculated risk.
Right.
How's that?
And Collier's not going to, I mean, is he projected to go in like the top 20 or top
He's
10?
a lottery pick. Oh,
Is
he's
he
a
a
lottery
lottery
pick
pick?
for sure.
Okay.
This is maybe the worst draft in NBA history.
Yeah. But I saw him in the top 3 on boards when we were recruiting him. And then now
When
I
he
don't
got hurt and he
see
didn't
him
have,
like,
I mean,
see him like
USC was
17
bad.
to 25. So that's fine. Whatever.
I think he ends up going right around the back end.
Dude, it doesn't matter where anyone goes. NBA is NBA. Picks are weird.
Right.
Guys in the second round are better than guys in the first round. But who do you think the next Bearcat to be drafted will be?
I guess Dan has made it pretty clear he plans on giving it a run after this coming season. So, Dan,
Pretty bold statement on his part.
look, I'm not.
If he can do it, fucking
right.
Yeah,
that's his goal. Like, that is what he set out to do. Let's see him do it.
Yeah, here. Actually, a buddy of mine texted me about him and was like, really, NBA? And I started breaking it down. I'm like, look, all right, plus rebounder, like plus rebounder for a guard. I mean, I've been watching UC for 30 years. I've never seen a guard rebound as well as him. I mean, so that's a skill. He has long arms. So like that's a skill. Like that's an elite thing he does. He's got plus athleticism. I don't know if it's elite, but he has plus. I mean, he has definitely the wingspan galore. And he clearly can be creative in the paint. He's a decent free throw shooter. He has to get a little better at that. But if he shoots a decent percentage from 3 this year, I could see him getting drafted. I actually could.
I think actually his biggest step, and the 3 ball in the NBA right now is the number one thing.
Yeah.
But if he can also show the improvement, if he can carry over the improvement we saw to be the end of the season defensively, and I've talked to Wes about this off the record, I like to make sure what I see is what I think I see, if you will.
Yeah.
I thought the last 8 games or so, Dan made significant improvements defensively. And if he can get that 3-point percentage up into the mid 30s,
yeah, 30
and continue that,
would do
30,
it.
No, even 34, 35.
I wouldn't chance it. I would want to be on the good side of 35 if I'm him.
Okay. We're arguing about 1%.
That's just where we are. Like they're not going to draft a guy. He's marginal.
We're talking about one make, 1 or 2 makes.
I know. He just has to make them. Freaking, he can. Okay. He should just if he just takes better looks and drives. I mean, it's either way, he has a chance to shoot high 30s. If he does, I could see him being drafted. I mean, I'm just being realistic. That plus rebounding is a thing.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think even mid 30s puts him in that position.
All right.
Especially if, like I said, he continues to show that defensively he has taken that next step where he can be counted on with his size and length to be a plus perimeter defender.
All right. Well, here, if he gets drafted at under 35% from 3, then you win something.
It's not like I said 31. I was like 34 or 35.
Okay. Well, let's just say somehow he shoots 34. We will have a big time wager. I will say he won't, and you will say he will, despite it.
We'll circle back to this a year from now.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's where we're at now. There's one spot open. I do know a name that was associated with them today, Sean Stewart. The transfer from Duke is a name that I've set on the boards that I am monitoring. Any information I hear on that situation, you will find at bearcatjournal.com. Cincinnati is in contact. If you don't know, Sean Stewart was a 5-star top 25 kid a year ago. He is from Florida. He played AAU with Jizzle James. They are both freshmen. They're both going into their sophomore year, so they know each other well. He played for an AAU program that Wes has a good relationship with. So there are at least some connectors there. Although, look, I watched Sean Stewart a lot last year because I watched Jizzle James a lot last year. And Sean Stewart's really, 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 really good. Really, 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 really good. So if Cincinnati could get him, it'd be a major win. But guess what? There's going to be a whole lot of people in line for Sean Stewart. So let's give it a couple days and see how things shake out. But I do know Cincinnati's not, at least Cincinnati's not starting. The way the portal works now, you have teams that start at the starting line and then teams that start like a little farther back. What do you are you watching the NBA while you're doing this podcast?
Yeah, I mean it's on mute. It's just I just saw Anthony Edwards hit a 3-pointer. Nice.
He was nasty. The little step back on KD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. But all right, well.
So here, I mean, clearly you pick one of those two guards, you go to Skillings at the 3, and you got Aziz at the 5. So and it's CMOS at the 4. That's your starting lineup going into next season.
I would think so, yeah. And then, you kind of have a 3-headed monster at the 1 and 2, 4, if CJ is healthy and back and ready to go. You got quality on the wing.
So you could have CJ and Day off the bench.
Yeah.
You could do a little second unit with CJ and Day. That could be interesting.
And Sean Stewart and Arrington Page. Getting ahead of myself, but hypothetically speaking, you could have a pretty good second team.
Wow. Yeah, Sean Stewart would be a nice addition to that front court. I would go front court either way with this one. I feel like they got enough in the backcourt. I know you got Josh Reed.
I still wouldn't mind. I wouldn't hate another wing, but that's a tight thread to needle. You got Dan and CMOS.
Rayvon, you got to hope that Rayvon can step in and give you at least something at that 3 spot at the wing. Yeah. I mean, he's got the length, and he's a high. What was he ranked in his class? Top 40, top 50?
No, he ended up being in the 70s, I think.
Really?
Yeah. He didn't play a whole lot at his prep school, so kind of dropped him a little bit.
I thought I saw him higher than Jizzle in that class.
At one point he was. I don't remember if it ended that way. Jizzle kind of jumped up late, I think. Yeah. Either way, they're both good.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. So you got those guys came in together. So what if he can give you some backup at the 3, Josh Reed at the 4, and then Page at the 5. Unless Sean Stewart comes in, then you rethink that whole.
Then you start redoing some math, and you have 2 4-stars in Tyler McKinley and Tyler Betsy.
Oh my goodness!
Working their way into the fold as well.
Wow,
it's a lot of talent, Berg.
Yeah, a lot of guys ranked in the 2 digits.
Yeah,
which UC has not had a lot of those. The couple 14 years before or whatever it was.
Stack talent, baby. Stack talent, and it's on the coaches to figure that shit out.
Yeah, and have a little baby Luka Doncic or Kirkland brand Luka Doncic in CMOS Lukosius.
Oh boy,
like he's a guy like that can he reads the game and he can shoot the way he was shooting down the stretch. Holy Lord, he finished the season on a heater.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got height. Like they could be here. My thing is this: give me a top 25 offense at Cincinnati, please. Just one. Just give me one. Like I've had enough top 25 defenses to last a lifetime. In the last, like I be 62nd in defense if you have to, but just find a way to be 25th in top 25 in offense. I need to see a UC team do that just once in my lifetime. In this century since Huggins left. Andy Kennedy, he didn't do it. But yeah, do you think they could do that with that kind of firepower? I mean, Jizzle, Conor Hickman, Skillings, Lukosius, and a rim running lob threat. That could be a prolific offense, couldn't it?
As long as you shoot the 3 well, yes.
Jesus, yeah, I think so.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Bergie, thank you for checking in. We always love hearing from you. And you have a wonderful evening.
You do the same. And we need a top 25 offense next year.
All right, that's the night.
Only to satisfy me.
That's the nightcap. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.